So I want to talk about glassmorphism effect, and a work someone did, and I hope everyone is watching, so we could just all talk about what to do. So he made a real estate website and said, how did I do the design? And there are so many things wrong with this design that could be better. So let's just start and get right into it. Now, what is glassmorphism? Glassmorphism is an effect where you make an element in a design to look like glass. Now, the way to get the effect is that you have to understand how light works. In this design, there's no light, there's no depth. Also, glassmorphism effect works when you have light shining from one angle and darkness creating depth in another angle. So basically, let's start with creating a simple glassmorphism like element here. I would draw a frame, and in the frame, I would decide to choose a background. So to do good glassmorphism, you must have a specific type of background. Not every background works with it. The backgrounds for glassmorphism must be colorful for it to work. So if you use Unsplash and find an image, that has good gradient or pattern, that would work really. So I will attempt to redo what you've done and show glassmorphism in the design. But I do not think we're going to achieve much with it, so I'll just do pattern. Let's search for pattern and let's see if we can create a glassmorphism effect. With this one, we can create a glassmorphism effect. With this, we can do that also. With this, we cannot do this. With this, we can create a glassmorphism effect. You need to know what you can create a glassmorphism effect with. So let's create something. Let's find an image to work with. I shall use this one. And there we go. We already have a pattern. So for glassmorphism to work, we must have a pattern background. Now, there are several issues wrong with this design. One is the spacing between all these things. Why are they spaced this way? Home should come first before news. This is some of the things you need to notice. Please follow patterns. Do not design on your own. Design from other designers to see. Even the best companies do that. Next thing, let's create a card. This card, destination card. Let's just we can even come here and just add black here and just go dark. That's one thing we can do. So let's create text that says destination, and we can do 24. Now the contrast on this thing is really terrible. As you can see, how to know your design is not working is when you see that you are breaking several laws of design. If destination cannot be seen properly by some people with visual impairment, then you have a problem. Then we can change this back to light. This should not be dark because it's not working here. This is not working here. State cannot be seen properly. Then you are wrong. Do not do that with designs. So we'll do 24 here, and then we'll create 3 cards for each state. You cannot have a glassmorphism here. Before I jump into the design, let us see how we can do a glassmorphism in this design. Before we jump into the actual design, 24 for this, and let us create a glassmorphism card here. So to create a good glassmorphism, you must then take yours and give it a linear gradient. This is showing depth. There's light coming from a place and light living on that place. I'll reduce the border to 16. The borders are too sharp for me. I'll just do 10. Then next thing we want to do is we want to add a stroke, light stroke. But we want to also change it to linear gradient also. And then we'll do this. I like to reduce my opacity. There are many ways to design it. There's no particular one way. Every designer has a different method of designing their glassmorphism cards. Then we've done this. The next thing we want to do is effects. And we'll do a background blur, you can now do an 200. Then we can come back to this linear and reduce some of the values and go back to this. This is one way to do it. So there you go, you have a good glassmorphism effect. But when I talk about using colorful stuff to create glassmorphism, it has to do with making sure you have like this color and yellow. Then if you put this together, I will place it behind something, in front of something. You have your glassmorphism. See, I mostly just make this one blurry a bit effect and just do layer blur and just go from here to 200. So this is your glassmorphism card. This is what you're trying to achieve. Glassmorphism. Another way to do glassmorphism is to search for a noise. There's a plugin called noise. I would search for it and I would find noise. I'll run it. And I'll just create something with it. Let's just go very, very light and create a noise card. And I'll close this. So with the noise card, I will then take my glassmorphism out. Remember that I created this one with frame, not rectangle. I will then take this image and use a opacity tool, then take this and shove it into this design. It's still looking a bit off, but we're going to make it work. We'll make it work. And this part is 2010. This is a better glassmorphism card. Perhaps if we change this back to 100, we should get something really good. But this is a better glassmorphism card than we have seen. And I'll just adjust the values of some of them. So this is it. This is your glassmorphism card. But it's not going to work here. You cannot have a glassmorphism background. Glassmorphism is for the item on top. How do I explain this again? For example, if you're using a Windows 11, you can look at your tab bar and you can see how it is. So the best way to actually make this work for your design, is to do this and drag. We're trying to make this card. And then you can now say, this is one way, you can now then draw another frame or rectangle. Let's use rectangle with arrow and draw a rectangle inside this. And then we go to change the border radius to also 10 so that they are matching. The radius here and radius here has to match. Then we can now take this text and say Asaba. We can then do 18 Asaba, change this to bold, use delta state. I would like to go down a bit here. Okay, this is still a bit, I'll just do 16, 14, and do 16 here. This is just, it's not an actual job. you know. But then after you put this, what else are you going to show on this other side of the card? This is how to think, how to use your space. The distance to the destination or what, I do not understand what you're trying to create there, but then let's just, forget about that now and just keep creating and do splash. And then we choose our location. Let's choose house. Then we can put it in here. So this is how to create a better glass, or how to use Glassmorphism. This is how to use Glassmorphism. Then we can change its position to something else. And you can see here. And the third one would also be here. Say this. So this is what to do with your Glassmorphism. How to create a Glassmorphism effect than this. So Glassmorphism is for an item on something, not for the background. You don't show your Glassmorphism through the main ground, through the main effect. It's seen. It's not seen through the background. It's seen on the main, on the tiny elements on the design. So it's very, very difficult to make Glassmorphism with this. Instead, we could just simply let's see what happens when we try to make the background from this. Let's change the background to this one. Let's see what happens. See, it still works here, but then let's see what happens when we then add an effect to the background. You cannot add a drop shadow, it has to be a layer blur. No, that's not going to work. A layer blur. Then we do a background blur. And let's see what happens when we do 50. Let's do 200. See what happens. Nothing still happens. 400. Okay. This one, just nothing happens here, as you can see. So I do not know how you achieved this blur. But let's do 900. Still does not work. Design is about playing a lot. You have to play with stuff to see how it works. I have no idea how you came about this design or the background, but we've just tried it now and it doesn't seem to work. So the next thing to do will be either just click the shape or rectangle, and let's see if we can get this design to function. The only way to make the design function is actually to just added the shape, and we push it to the back. So you hold Control and the left bracket, which is beside the P key on your laptop, your computer, and we can change this one to black. The black is going to work out. Right? Yes, that's fine. Now then use opacity. This is how to get, how to use the card. So Glassmorphism works on the cards itself, not on it works on the card itself, not the background. This is how to understand Glassmorphism. And it works better when the design behind is colorful, like this design. You do not show Glassmorphism here. There's no Glassmorphism in this design. So there will be no need for us to go ahead to create this. But if we want to go ahead to design this, this is what we're going to have. Let's do this. This is not a good logo. So Jungle Land. I do not know why you named your design Jungle Land, but I would change this to Rokoto and just have it here. Then I would keep this in the grid. Every time I always design with the grid. Let me do desktop grid. I only have it saved here. Then I would create all the menus. Home, select both and just shift A to auto layout. Then I'll leave this space between the two to 24. There's so much space between this. Do not leave so much space between this. You balance a design. Then I'll select this one and click on Ctrl D to duplicate, and I'll type explore, Ctrl D to do news. Then I'm going to take that and put it here. But I do not want this. I do not like that they are competing with the same attention hierarchy. So I'll select all of them and change it from bold to medium. Medium seems too much. Regular, it's fine. Then I'm gonna have here. Then we have this section. I'll do F for frame. To be honest, Glassmorphism is not used in a lot of designs. It's only used in small elements. So there's no need to use Glassmorphism in designs. We've not seen an actual use of Glassmorphism yet. And next thing is I need to put an image inside it. I'll use Unsplash, and I will make real estate. This looks awful, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to just find a nice building. Apartment. Okay, I think this is a tourism website actually, not this. So I would search for I don't know what's Obudu Cattle Ranch. We don't have Obudu images here. I'm not sure we have one Splash. We don't have any. Nigeria. Since you're trying to show Nigeria, so we'll use Nigeria. Oh my god, NSAS protest. NSAS protest. This is Abuja. I do not know what image this is. Keep looking for pictures to use. Well, you know what? Let me just tourism. Let me search for tourism. I do not think all the spaces are in. Unsplash is not going to have pictures for us. So I'll just search tourism. Vacation. I don't know what's going on. Vacation. So the image you use on your design also matters, and how you manipulate the image to fit your design also matters. I'm still trying. You know what? I'll just change the attention to landscape. Then I find something that works. Okay, so I'm still searching for something to use, and I'm looking for something that will work. You know what? I'm going to just use this building. I'll keep searching actually. I will use this one instead. Okay, so I will then close this one, turn it off, and as we have the image already in our design, now we'll write a text. The beauty to be old, and then we'll go as far as 60. We'll go from this to extra bold. place it here. We have a contrast issue, so we then change this text to white. This is one way to solve the problem, but still it still looks terrible. So one of the methods to do is either select your image. This is a frame. I said most times use frame instead of rectangles, and we could add on the fill, add something darker, and just go from this to this. This is one of the ways to do it. Method 2 would be to remove this. Then this is how I used to make it before, and I'll just make a rectangle. I have done that on the other designs, and I would just expand it and just bring it into the design. Then I will change this color to black. This is called an overlay. This image is called an overlay. The image you place on something to help with the contrast is called an overlay. I will reduce the opacity to this color. Then it still needs to go behind the rectangle. Bring this one on top. Repeat it to be I also, I'm a writer. I used to be a writer, so this text is terrible. It needs to be old. I do not know what you're talking about. A girl, a person, or a car. So I'm just trying to enjoy the best Nigeria. And the text on that would say Nigeria. Exactly. So you see, it doesn't go. Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world. Beauty, balance, light, 18 pixels, and then I will then put this and place it here. So I do not want to use light. I would go back to regular, so we can see the text even better. Then increase the height. Then there's no call to action in your design. There should be a button. No call to action apart from this. So we could then have a button that says explore. And then give that auto layout, Shift A. Then we give it a left and right padding of 24 on both sides. We do 16 at the top, and then we make the button fill. I don't know if we should use black. This is black. Let's round the corner radius to 10, using 10 at designs. So we've done this explore. We have an explore button. The next thing we want to do is to have delta, state, and nodes. But we already created them here, so we just import it into our design and import it here. Now, Glassmorphism does not work in this design apparently. I like to play around with my design, so I'll just duplicate this section here. On this section, I'll make this background black. Now you can see the Glassmorphism effect works and shows a bit here. And I will just take this and this and turn it into white. White? Why is it not turning into white? So we could just have this cards bigger. With your key, press K and repeat to scale. Now you have the scale. You can either scale it to 2x. Scale it to 2x with this new feature. Scale it to 2x with this new feature. Then we can just have them spread around. We could shift this to the top a bit. And let's leave a space of 65 pixels. Let's move this up also. And this to the side. I would just try and go down a bit, then bring it here. Shift A to auto layout and bring this to the top a bit. So I believe we already have our designs done. But to be honest, Glassmorphism is not really good every time, so I would not want to use it for this design. But for the sake of just talking about how to Glassmorphism well, this is why we have this tutorial. So next thing is here, let's attempt to do what you've done here. Now we to take this and go to Unsplash. And go to Unsplash and just click on Run. To find, I don't know if you can find something like colorful mouse. That's the only way Glassmorphism will work in a design. Let's see if this would work. Sometimes I would like to duplicate my design, for speed, and just see if I could just have this here. Keep your fingers crossed. Does it work? It looks terrible. It looks so terrible. Glassmorphism cannot really work. But look at the cards. The cards are taking the background. So for Glassmorphism to work, you must have backgrounds that also work according to the background. But as you can see, it's not so nice. Change this to white. I don't know why this is not changing to white. Change this to white. So clearly we have all this. Just import this from. Well, yes, I've shown you before that we cannot make this background to have any effects. That does not work. Inner shadow is not going to work. Layer blur will not work. It's make the entire thing terrible. Background blur does not seem to work either. 500. It's not working. Let's check if something else would work. Let's make a rectangle. Make it black. Because white is not going to work there. Make it black, or make it almost black. Let's make it Glassmorphism linear and just go here. This should work actually. This would work. So we'll go back to white and change this one to white also. But the values here is on 0. This one is on 100 white. This one is on 0. Next thing we want to do is, I notice that I use rectangles here for this one because I'm going to chuck it into this design. Next thing we want to do is we want to change the effects and give it a background blur of 500, and then we'll chuck it into this design. It should get into desktop 2. Nice. Keep moving to the top, and you can see I will choose all the colors in your design, your background. So keep moving to the back, and then we can now come and we want to reduce the linear to 50. Let's do 20. See, so it keeps taking the design of that stuff. Now if we come back to here and we see that this is 100, this is still on 0, and the linear here for general fill is still here. You could also come here and do this 50. I manipulate a lot of stuff in my design. It's a lot. So let's do 80. Let's see what happens. It's still bad. 40. it still works, but you have to understand to not break the rules of design and create something like this. So this is how and everything you need to know about glass morphism effect and how to use it.